What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Let me pause this real quick. So I had a comment. It asked, not that one. That's the wrong comment. Where are you? Right here. So, weird. Very new to Linux and have Linux Mint installed on my test dummy laptop. Not going to stick with it. No one ever does, trust me. Just learning the ropes. I've never heard anyone say Arch is beginner friendly. In fact, every person out there is telling me to definitely not use Arch as a beginner. So you want to know why they do this? They do this because they think you're stupid. Every Linux user out there that says this thinks that you are not smart enough at all to learn Linux. This is a problem. It's a problem because this prevents people from branching out, from trying things, from enjoying themselves, learning, and more. You don't ever want to put anybody down and tell them they're stupid, that they're too stupid to do something. Do you know what's required? By the way, let me be tall here for a second instead of being short. Do you know what's required to learn Arch Linux? The ability to read at a grade 2 level and patience. That is what's required to learn Arch Linux. That's pretty bright. Let's turn that down. And there we go. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. If you want to learn Arch Linux, the coolest place to do it is actually in a VM. Because you get to learn in an environment that you can break, destroy, and it will not affect your computer whatsoever. This is a huge help for learning any type of distro ever, for the same reason that, well, jumping onto a distro that Reddit recommends is beginner friendly is also a good idea. You get into Linux, you get to learn some of the commands, sure, but if you're stuck in an environment like Mint, you're stuck in an environment like Mint, and that's a problem. Can we actually make that go bigger? No, we cannot. I'm gonna need to readjust this screen. There. Hopefully you can see a little bit better. So here you are. You're on Arch Linux. Are you scared yet? The first time I saw this screen, it wasn't exactly like this. What I saw was this screen. It showed nothing. Now the new screen is completely different. It tells you all you have to do is type Arch install. Do I recommend this? 100%. You can do it like this. You can have it completely automated and it's gonna be just fine. And the reason for this is because it's designed to help anybody, whether you know nothing about Linux or everything about Linux, to easily jump in and recover their install. So if I hit enter after typing Arch install, it's going to check for a new version. It's going to update to the new version of Arch install. And this is what we're going to be given. Plain English. Arch install language. English. You know what that is. You speak English. Lots of people around the world speak English. And that's great. I'm glad that they do. But if you needed it to be in a different language, you can simply go in and choose your language. Okay, and it tells you which percentage of the language is in there. Locales. That's where you're from, right? So English, United States, there's English, Canadian, so on and so forth. There's also keyboard layout. You know what that is. The confusing part about installing Linux is, what do you do for partitioning? If this is your drive, what do you do? And this is one of the worst tools you could ever possibly use for partitioning your drive. That's why when I say, if you're going to learn a distro, you're going to learn it in a virtual machine. Boot up VMware, it's free. Boot up VirtualBox, it's free. Okay? VMware is free for personal use, by the way. Okay? So there you go. But for this, honestly, I could just suggest a partition layout. And if you want, you could use a subvolume with a default structure. What that means is your home folder, your root folder, and a few other things are separate. It means less corruption, less issues. If your drive's gone corrupt, you're screwed either way. But if you do a reinstall, you can move your home folder wherever you need it to be. So I usually choose yes, and I usually use compression. So this creates the primary, which is the boot EPS, the ESP, sorry, That allows you to boot your drive, and it creates what is called the root, or some people say rut, and I don't know why. That's incorrect, but they say it anyway. And that's where your files get stored. So you confirm and exit, and you end up going back. Congratulations, you have a bootable version of this. Remember, if you're doing this on real hardware, please install it on a blank drive. Don't do this with Windows. I don't want you destroying your Windows, getting mad at me or anybody else for that. Swap is basically fake RAM. So if you have 8 gigs of RAM, you can fake 16 gigs of RAM by adding another 8. You can add 64 gigs if you need it to. If you have a big enough NVMe and it's fast enough, you won't notice a difference with swap RAM. Leave it on. Your bootloader, this is very dependent on you as a person. This one is super simplistic, kind of easy to use. Not really recommend it right now until they get their stuff together, a few more tools and whatnot. This is the easiest one to get to know. You can edit boot commands easily. This one's a bit more difficult, but honestly the fastest out of the bunch, and honestly the most stable. That's why it's default. So that's what I'm going to stick with. Unified kernel images, you don't need to click this. You don't need to change your host name. Your root password is controlled over the system administration side of your computer. It allows you to install most things. You're going to want to set this password. User account, password, and yes, you want to be a sudo user. Done. Simple as that. Now, I need to adjust the screen capture one more time because apparently the bottom is too bottomed out. So we want to go up to the point where we can see the bottom. There we go. Done. Next is the profile. So the profile has types. You can have desktop, you can have minimal, you can create a server, or you can use XOR. Please stick to desktop, minimal, or server. If you're a new user, here you go. These are the ones that I recommend that you use, Gnome or KDE. If you're wanting to jump into a more advanced configuration, you could also use Hyperland. Hyperland, you can make it into whatever you want. These are the ones that I'm used to the most, and honestly, these are the most user-friendly. Okay? Making Hyperland user-friendly takes a long time, and you have to know what you're doing. Cinnamon is the desktop environment that Mint has. If you're used to that, you can enjoy that. And Cutefish is just wonderful, and I really, really need it to come back to life. But I have videos on that. You can go check that out. I am going to choose Gnome. I usually choose Gnome. Now, for graphics drivers, it's pretty simple. If you have NVIDIA, a Turing graphics card, so in other words, 2000 series or newer, you're going to want to click this one. If you have a 1000 series or older, you're going to want to click this one, okay? And if you're in VMware or VirtualBox, you're testing, you're going to click this one. So I'm going to click that one. As for the greeter, you can choose SSDM, which comes with KDE, or GDM, which comes with Gnome. That is up to you. Audio, there's only one choice, that's Pipewire. Pulse audio is outdated and has multiple issues. Leave the kernel as is. As for network configuration, easy, simple. Now, I want to go up here real quick because we need to select our region. This is important for setting our mirrors, so we have maximum performance. And optional repositories, we're going to want multi-lib on. And there you go. That is it. This is it. This is your most basic configuration of Arch that you need to get started with learning. Now, there's the manual way installing Arch. I also recommend trying that in a virtual machine because you can learn so much from it. You have no idea. It teaches you how to manually install, do everything. We're talking about partitioning, you name it. It teaches you certain tools, and it is the most brilliant teaching tool ever. No one can dispute that. No one can put that down. And if they do, again, all they're doing is thinking about either their own learning ability and putting themselves down, or they're thinking that you, the user who is new, is not smart enough to understand fully what's going on. Again, you need a grade 2 reading ability along with comprehension and patience. That's it. Those are the only two things that you need to be able to learn Arch Linux. And that's not an exaggeration. And I'll tell you why in just one second. So, I am a father. I got 2 kids. One's 8, one's 11. Okay? And I like to teach them things. One day I sat down on the couch with my daughter. I'm like, I gotta reinstall this, and then we can play Minecraft. And she's like, okay. And she just sits there. She's like, what you doing? And I'm like, I'm installing Arch Linux. She's like, can I do it? Yeah, anybody can do it. She's not even in grade 2 yet. So I basically show her the commands on my phone that she has to enter to be able to pull it off. And she's like, what does this do? I explain it to her, so on and so forth. She goes by, every command's done, and she has no issues. She understood all of it. And then I did the same thing with my son Vincent, and lo and behold, he gets it. He's at war with himself. So he has autism and ADHD. So he is constantly, like the two sides are fighting for control. So the fact that he understood this was brilliant. He's a smart kid. There's no doubt about it. But you have to catch him at a certain time where he's perfectly balanced. And those times are very rare. So I was super impressed. I caught him at the right time. He learned something. He liked it. He likes computers. And I'm proud of him for that. But he's not a fan of Windows at all, because he got to experience Windows on one of the really crappy new age laptops that are like, they have that MCC, what are they called? The really slow computers. I hate them so much. And he hated it. And we put Linux on it, and the thing was blazing fast afterwards. Windows just crunches the hardware so badly. So again, I want to say this. You are not stupid. If you were a beginner, you have every ability within your means to install vanilla Arch Linux, and it will be the best learning experience imaginable. And here's the thing. We're going to reboot the system. We're going to go in, and I'm going to show you one more thing before we end up leaving this video. Okay? And I'm going to force shutdown. We're going to double click to power on. Hopefully it uses the right one. It does not. Okay, I need to adjust something. I'll be right back. All right, so let's boot up real quick, okay? So this is the screen that you're going to have when you first boot up your Arch installation. And this is what you get when you're logging in. Gnome will default to Wayland. Okay. And you enter your password and you're in. That's it. You're done. So I'm going to turn off my filter real quick. We're going to go to display settings. And I'm going to attempt to bring us to a resolution we can look at more clearly, which is that. Right click, display settings. It's just like Windows. Okay. And for some reason, it still wants to do some weird things where it does not stretch properly, and I do not like when it does that. That's fine. So I guess we could just go and turn that on and adjust it. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you real quick is that these are your default apps. Settings are here. Your console's here. You don't need to use it. But we are for one final thing, because I want to make this ride as easy as possible for you, okay? So we're going to type yay GitHub. And the reason we're doing this is because the GitHub holds applications that you can compile, or it holds instructions to download what's called a bin. So this one's you'll need to compile. All right, that's fine. But this one is one that is automatically built for you, and it allows you to install everything needed. So all you do is copy that whole thing and you paste. So this is the whole command. Now watch what happens when we do what we need to do. Look at this. It's grabbing everything. It's pre-compiled. Password. Done. Just like that. And then we're good to go. Now, what we're going to be installing with this, by the way, is called Octopi. It's a GUI package manager. It lets you search whatever you want on both the AUR, that's what this goes for, and elsewhere. So it's spelled OCTOPI. It's right there. It's the very first one. And we're just going to hit enter. We're going to hit enter again. It's going to download everything required. We're going to type N for no. We're going to type yes or Y for that. You can also just hit enter, but again, this is for beginners. And look at this. We hit Y again. We're already beginning to remember things, right? It's repetition. And look at that. It's installing all of its dependencies to be able to do this. Don't be scared. This is just building the application. You don't have to do anything. Hands free, okay? And look, it's already done. That's it. Oops, small V. There we go. And this is also building. Some applications require multiple dependencies to be able to run. So without these dependencies, which are very important for it to run, the application will not start. The same thing happens with Windows. The only difference, Windows ships with these DDLs built in. Linux does not, because it doesn't want to add over amounts of bloat into your system. So those applications have to come with those dependencies to be able to run to begin with. I mean, again, it's just a grade 2 comprehension level. It's not saying anybody's stupid at all. This is just where it sits to be able to learn Linux. Because at one point in time, if you don't remember, as a kid, you had to learn Windows. Same thing goes for any other operating system. So now that that's done, we close this out and we head in here. Look at this. Now we have a package manager. We click this. It refreshes everything. I know there's a lot of scary files, but what if you just want Spotify? There it is. Spotify. Just like that. What if you want to see more files? Well, you go to options. You go to the AUR. And there you go. You choose the yay. Now you can choose no confirm. You can also choose overwrite. Doing so allows you to overwrite anything that you want. And we hit refresh. The AUR is still not showing. I think I messed up somewhere because, again, I don't use this tool. I built my own. Like, there we go. Search for outdated AUR packages. I think maybe the AUR packages were possibly moved. I think it's not showing everything, which can be a bit annoying, but whatever. It doesn't need to. Spotify. There you go. So, say you're a Brave user. Yeah, it's not showing what I want. 1 second. Okay, well, these are the things that we've installed with the AUR, and you can access them through here. View, repository, AUR. Okay? And usually, this is it. All AUR packages are user-provided content. You could provide voting, things like that. Usually the build directory is in here. Like that. And then you got the package list, so you can select a whole bunch of this stuff. There's the backends. Yeah, it's just, it's not willing to show. So let's close it down and open it back up here to begin with. Okay. Yeah, see? It's only showing the extra repository, which makes me think there's something else going on. You can add custom repositories here as well if you need to. But yeah, usually this thing comes with the AUR ability, but I can show you how to use that. Let me show you how to use the program first, okay? All right, let's use Firefox as an example. Press the button, install, press the check mark, hit yes. Enter your password, and Firefox is now installed. That's it. If you need to find a different package that only exists on the AUR, all you have to do is type yay, Brave, and as you could see, Brave is the first one. It's out of date though, You can choose 3, which is a Brave bin, just like this. And if you're going to be using Gnome, there's another thing that you should be using. It's very, very, very important. It's called Extension Manager. This allows you to hold down Gnome extensions. So yay, Extension Manager. Now, it will give you a list if you do that, but if you put -s, it will immediately grab the correct one. Enter, enter. Hit no. Hit enter or press Y and hit enter. It's up to you. It will, again, compile the application for you. Nothing needs to be done after this. And then this is it. Now, you might be wondering, why should I not use something like Manjaro? Well, it comes with all of this already done, sure. But Manjaro comes with a bunch of other issues. Let me just try to help you out here on that. So, there's security issues with Manjaro, and I know people will like to pretend that that's not a thing, but it is. And there's actual things that will display this for you. So, we move this out of the way. You can see Manjaro is a GitHub dedicated to showing security issues, SSL certificate issues, setting unexpected large traffic volumes to the AUR, Pac-Man traffic spike history, so much more. It is not stable, poor maintenance practices, bad security practices. There's a lot of reasons not to use Manjaro, and you might be wondering, well, what about Gerudo? It's kind of made by ex-Manjaro developers, so trust is a bit iffy on that side as well. So yeah. So now you have yourself a package manager, you know how to use the yay, and you can literally go through, find out what you need, make a list, search the AUR for it, search the Pac-Man repositories with it. You could open this and just start searching if you wanted to. There's also this store here, and you can grab applications pretty quick from right here. You install the Flatpak. Another thing that I do recommend new users do, sudo pacman-s flatpak, like that. You could do that. Look at that, all done. If you need to, you could do pacman. I believe it's, is it search? No, it's not. I forget what term it is because I don't usually search with Pac-Man. What I normally do, I don't use Pac-Man at all. I just do this. I do Spotify. Like, I search with Yay, because Yay is just honestly so much better in terms of searching because you get more results. Like, it will go over the results and the extra repos first, and it will also show you the most used item for Spotify. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, look. You watched the video hopefully till the end. Hopefully you have a better understanding of why people say Arch is not for beginners. Either 1, they are doubting their own ability to learn, or 2, they don't think you're smart enough to start at all. Me, I know you can do it. I've been teaching Arch Linux, vanilla Arch Linux to beginners for the last 15 years in social media apps like Discord and other things like IRC. It's so easy to do. You will have no problems. I have the fullest confidence in you. And if you need to learn how to do something extra, I have videos on how to use Pac-Man, on how to use Yay, on how to use Paru, on how to fully utilize Arch Linux to its fullest potential. I have all these videos in the playlist in the description below. You'll also find this one there as well. So check those out. Do not forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. Leave a comment. That helps the algorithm out. Like the video. I mean, hey, it helps me. Makes me feel good. So that's pretty cool. And if you want to support me in any way possible, just subscribe or check the description below for ways to become a YouTube member or donate using Ko-Fi. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.